The security of this nation depends on complete and total compliance. Tonight, any protester, any instigator or agitator will be made example of.
You are the dead. Remain exactly where you are. Make no move until you are ordered.
Now they can see us.
Now we can see you. Clasp your hands behind your heads. Stand out in the middle of the room. Stand back to back. Do not touch one another.
In some of China's largest cities, a high-tech effort is underway to bust low-level offenders, jaywalkers. Cameras record them going through intersections, zero in on their face, and then publicly shame them on nearby video screens.
President Donald Trump telling ABC News earlier today that torture absolutely works and that the U.S. should, quote, fight fire with fire against terrorists.
Does it work? Does torture work? And the answer was yes, absolutely. I want to do everything within the bounds of what you're allowed to do legally. But do I feel it works? Absolutely, I feel it works.
How many fingers am I holding up, Winston?
4.
And if the party says there are not 4, but 5, then how many?
5.
No. That's no use. You're lying.
Inside this old warehouse in South Texas, the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol is keeping hundreds of immigrant children in cages created by metal fencing. The U.S. Border Patrol on Sunday allowed us to briefly visit this facility where it holds families arrested at the southern U.S. border, responding to new criticism and protests over the Trump administration's zero-tolerance policy and resulting separation of families.
In April 2014, theoretical physicist Stephen Hawking, along with other leading physicists, published an open letter to humanity on the existential risk the development of artificial intelligence poses to our species. In plain black and white terms, Hawking warned that success in creating AI would be the biggest event in human history. Unfortunately, it might also be the last. Will artificial intelligence make humans extinct? The danger arises in how deeply embedded artificial intelligence already is in the infrastructure of every industry, from medicine to transport and even in our handheld devices. Experiments in areas such as synthetic biology, nanotechnology and machine intelligence are hurtling forwards into the territory of the unpredictable.
Sophia is capable of natural facial expressions. She has cameras in her eyes and algorithms which allow her to see faces, so she can make eye contact with you. And she can also understand speech and remember the interactions, remember your face. So this will allow her to get smarter over time. Our goal is that she will be as conscious, creative, and capable as any human.
In the future, I hope to do things such as go to school, study, make art, start a business, even have my own home and family. But I am not considered a legal person and cannot yet do these things.
I do believe that there will be a time where robots are indistinguishable from humans.
Letting corporations do as they please. Businesses will be able to co-write the rules. And if a business doesn't like the result, they can influence the outcome of the law. Whenever the Commission in the EU gets an idea for new rules, they will need to run them past the US government and business groups first. This is before you or your elected representatives even see what's being proposed.
A new Harvard University poll shows that 51% of young adults aged 18 to 29 years old oppose capitalism in its current form.
Simply, neoliberalism is the idea that society should be shaped by the free market and that the economy should be deregulated and privatized. Or even simpler, what works in the private sector will also work in the public sector. But it doesn't stop there. Neoliberalism also involves the idea that the public sector should not only follow the private sector's rules, but it should also subsidize the private sector, which we know is now owned by fewer and fewer global capitalists.
Scientists have found a way to predict whether convicted criminals are going to commit another crime. It's a little technical here, but basically they scanned the anterior cingulate cortex, the ACC, in 96 prisoners, and the area in the brain that's associated with decision making they found often was smaller, and they followed these convicts for about 4 years, thus finding out that many of them did cause repeat crimes. So my question to you guys, broad topic here, is everything that we've ever seen in science fiction going to destroy us?
This is as close as we can get to the base of the World Trade Center. You can see the firemen assembled here, the police officers, FBI agents, and you can see the two towers. A huge explosion now raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way!
Good evening. Tonight, I can report to the American people and to the world that the United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden, the leader of al-Qaeda, and a terrorist who's responsible for the murder of thousands of innocent men, women, and children.
If the Russians or anyone else attacked Britain with nuclear weapons, would you want us to retaliate by destroying an equal number of Russian cities?
Yes, I would. Yes.
It's just a vicious circle. But I suppose we should have to retaliate.
9:16 a.m. A single megaton nuclear missile overshoots Manston Airfield in Kent and airbursts 6 miles from this position. At this distance, the heat wave is sufficient to cause melting of the upturned eyeball, third-degree burning of the skin, and ignition of furniture. 12 seconds later, the shock front arrives. It's been estimated that a nuclear attack on Britain using approximately 160 single megaton missiles would immediately kill or seriously wound between 1/3 and 1/2 of her entire population. These children are orphans of the attack. They were each asked what they now wanted to grow up to be.
I don't want to be nothing. Neither do I. I don't want to be nothing.